Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host, GBHL Damian, and this is my hobby vlog number 11. So I said I'd be back regularly, and unfortunately I missed last week. There was no hobby vlog for me last Monday the 9th. I'm actually recording this on Tuesday the 10th, so I could kind of shove this up, but there's not an awful lot to show you. So I'd rather give you a bumper one next week, which I believe is something like the 16th, when I can show you hopefully a lot more progress. So that's what all this is building towards. I'm going to shoot it in a few segments. So first off, as hoped, I was able to get Thorin done. This is Young Thorin for the tournament. He was part of our Battle of Azanulbazar army. Lovely, lovely model, but I must admit I found him a little uninspiring to paint this time round. I think because I was under a deadline, and if I'm honest, I'm not sure he's finished. I'm not utterly convinced. He just, in the way I sort of said, the last few models I've done, things like Bulg and Thrall, everything just kind of fell right. It never really worked for this, I think. Like, the blues on his tunic, they never came out how I wanted. His face didn't particularly come out how I wanted, and the same with his hair. And so it's quite possible, I'd had to base him up for the tournament, but it's quite possible that he might, the brush might return to him for a few, maybe extra highlights down here on the strap. So he was definitely a bit of a rush job. But he's good and he looks fine and everything, and using him on the tabletop over the weekend with Billy was great fun and he looked fine, but I just wasn't, I was slightly disappointed, I think, with the overall result, which sometimes happens. As I said, I've had some really good luck with, I thought Baal and Thor and Bowl, my last three models, were all really pleased with how they came out. So obviously at some point you're going to get one that you're not so happy with, but it was just a bit of a shame because I was really kind of looking forward to this guy and I thought it'd be a cool model to paint, but for whatever reason something just didn't click right. But I'm still pretty pleased with him, and he did well over the weekend. So that is Thorin. Now, the next thing you should expect to see me painting is this guy, Dwalin, that we weren't able to get finished as predicted for the Mansfield Doubles tournament, and so Jamie Giblin very kindly lent us his Young Dwalin. That was cool. Now I would crack on with this guy, but I'm a little kind of fed up in a way of painting hero dwarfs for one thing, but also, and slightly more to the point, I've been painting a lot of single heroes and I've got a lot of troops to do over the next 5 weeks. And I think I'm going to leave him, do some troops, and then return to him to break things up. So yeah, I'm about to start a new project, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So, if you remember these guys from my last hobby vlog, these were my Bretonian archers that were being used as colour studies. And I've tried a bunch of different things here, and I think I found the one I like, which is this guy on the end. So let me pick him up, bring him over to this. So this is the gold effect I'm going to go for in the middle here on my Mirkwood Armoured Elves, which I think, it's obviously done very, very quickly on this Bretonian guy, so it's not highlighted on the back, but it's the kind of, it will be the colour, the kind of finish that I like rather than how well it's particularly painted here. So the gold of this guy, and that was done by painting Balthazar gold as the base, shading it with Agrak's Earthshade, highlighting it with Gehenna's gold, and then highlighting it with Auric Armour gold. So a two-stage highlighting process, which is possibly a little more than I'd normally do for some of my warriors, but I think it'd be worth it for those lovely models. And you can see also on the arms, I've been trying out a couple of reds for the capes, and for that I'm going to go with this one, which was Dark Flesh, or the new Doomball Brown. So that's not quite the highlighting because that was a different wash, but it will look something like that gold tunic with that kind of red cloaks, and that's going to be my Mirkwood Armoured Elves, which is the next thing I'm going to start working on. Okay, so a few people asked about that, and it was quite a it's kind of quite a handy little idea. You can see how I kind of did various things. This one, these ones down here didn't get highlighted up because I wasn't keen on them, so you know, you find the ones you like and then take them up further. But it was kind of handy so that you don't end up perhaps making a mistake on the nice new expensive models where it really matters. So, as I said, my next project is my Mirkwood Armoured Elves, and to help inspire me on this project, I have my elf army. So what I've done here, as you can see, is set up my, and this is a bit spoilerific, 750 point army for the Battle of East Rivenstead on March the 15th, I think it is. So I've written my army list already, and the comforting bit to look at is Tariel leading 10 Mirkwood Rangers. Then the next most comforting bit is Legolas mounted, and there's his dismount, and this is going to be the new profile, Prince of Mirkwood, and I've checked that with a TO, and that's alright, leading 12 Mirkwood Armoured Elves, 6 with glaives, 3 with blades, and 3 with bows. And the least inspiring bit at the moment is Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realm, who's just there in his blister, and 8 Palace Guard, although I suppose at least the Palace Guard are assembled and undercoated. So I've basically laid the whole army out here as a bit of inspiration to try and get it finished. As of this weekend, as I said, I'm recording this on Tuesday, I believe at this weekend I've got 4 weeks to do it. So I've kind of got 4.5 weeks to go at the moment to get all this stuff finished. Now, that would be absolutely fine for a lot of people, but as I said before, I paint quite slowly. So I'm going to break this down into 4 sessions, which are going to be the 8 Palace Guard, the 6 Mirkwood Elves with glaives, the other 6 Mirkwood Elves, and Thranduil. Thranduil will get a week to himself. So there are, as you can see, 4 kind of blocks of painting, and I've got 5 weeks. So there's not a lot of wiggle room in that for me. So I'm going to start with these guys as they're already undercoated. And I kind of figure if the colour scheme goes slightly wrong, these guys are, they're cheaper, aren't they, because they're plastic models, so it's not the end of the world. So this week, as I said, I'm recording this on Tuesday, you'll be seeing this next Monday, I'm going to try and make a start on these guys. They are lovely, lovely models, really like them. I've had these actually like this undercoated for over a year. I got them last Christmas, and I was just never particularly inspired by a colour scheme for them. I didn't particularly like how they looked on the box or anything like that. But having seen the Battle of 5 Armies, it was like perfect. I'll just paint them up from that, and kind of in a way you get cheaper troops. Whilst they're more expensive point wise, you can suddenly bulk up your Mirkwood army with these plastic troops. So that's the thing. And now, as I've said in various videos, I also think they unlock the army list. Now that you've got those, sorry, these don't unlock the army list, but now that you've got these guys, the cheap Mirkwood Elves, in points terms, I think these guys are viable because you can kind of bulk up your numbers a bit. So yeah, so I hope I get it done. That's my challenge. That's my goal, as Mr. Ward would say. And I've got this to get painted for 5 weeks' time. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do over the next few weeks. Hopefully sneaking Barlin in and getting him done at some point. And hopefully you'll be able to see some progress on that. So, as I said, these guys are up next. They are not, I'm just thinking about what my plan is for this week. These are not going to be finished by the time you finish this vlog, because we're about to, you know, it's just going to tick over into the next clip for you guys any minute. But for me, the next bit will be recorded just before next Monday, and I'm sure they won't be finished, so apologies. But my goal is that in Hobby Vlog 12, you will see these guys finished. So we'll see if that happens. That will be the one that's published on maybe the 23rd. Hopefully 8 Palace Guard will be finished by then. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to over this week. Not an awful lot, but quite a lot of planning done, I guess. And hopefully you'll be seeing some of the results of that, which I don't know yet, because in my world they haven't happened. But hopefully you'll be seeing a little updated bit of paint on these guys just about now. Okay guys, and we're back. We're now here on Tuesday night, so sorry I wasn't able to get my hobby vlog uploaded last night, but hopefully it'll be up overnight, so you'll be able to see it pretty soon. So as you can see, I have indeed made some progress on my Palace Guard. As hoped, they are far down the line. Now if you're following my kind of plans to get this army painted in time for East Rivenstead, these guys should be finished by now. They are not. I was really pleased with the progress I made on them on last Wednesday and Thursday, when I got them based and shaded very quickly. But then the armour proved to be my undoing again. So if we go and have a look at these guys. what I've done, let's go through the colours first, I suppose. I started off with the armour has been base coated with Balthazar Gold. The cloaks were base coated with Doomball Brown. A lot of the the dark leather was Rhinox Hide, and I think the lighter leather was Gorthor Brown. That's pretty much it. The blades were chainmail, and then everything was washed with Agros Earthshade. So that was the kind of shading bit. And then what I started doing, that was all quite quick. I've then started highlighting them up, and my armour highlight I've been using is this Gehenna's Gold, and that's the stage I've just finished. And if we have a look at them, they now look like this. So they're still looking quite kind of bronzed at the moment. They actually look quite like Easterlings, I think. So you've got this dark shaded cloak, and you have this kind of dark, albeit highlighted, gold effect, like that. And the reason that I haven't made much progress on this is because I did this in exactly the same way I did my Warriors of Erebor, in that I highlighted all this gold by hand. So there's no dry brushing or anything. Everything's been painted. So every one of these scales were painted individually. This has all been painted in. The shield has been painted over, kind of individually, doing those lines to hopefully leave shadows in the back, all around the helmet and so on and so forth. And it took ages. It took, roughly speaking, I think about half an hour per model to get all the gold on them done. So I did that, and I haven't really been able to do a lot more. I think the only actual colour I've highlighted beyond that is the I've given the blades a new coat of chainmail. So I'm quite pleased with how they're coming along, but they have taken a very long time. Interesting thing, if anyone's done any Palace Guard, check these guys out. They all have this kind of cool little detail inside on their belts. You see all this? These kind of ornamental belts with all these gold, except this guy, who's got a big brown patch with no detail. I don't know if that's just like some sort of miscast on mine, or if I accidentally filed it away when cleaning it up, maybe, because I did that a year ago, or if it's just a dodgy sculpt. But if anyone else has painted any Palace Guard and wants to have a look at that and let me know, that would be great. So then those, and get to the Spearmen, done in exactly the same way. And the kind of good news about this is there's not actually that much more to them. I mean, there's still a lot to be done on them, but it's essentially cloak and brown leather and gold. That's the kind of whole model. Another one, using the shield. That. And then we've got two spearmen without shield. So I'm very, very relieved to have finished that layer of gold, but even that said, it still took a long time, and it was quite hard work and to struggle through mentally. So I've done that. And what's depressing me even more than that is the knowledge that I'm now about to do a second highlight. This time with, what was it? Where's it gone? Where's it gone, viewers? It's gone. Don't know where it is. Auric Armour Gold, I believe. Is that one? Yes, Auric Armour Gold, there we go. This is going to be the second highlight that I'm going to apply to them to finish off the armour, and that will leave them with this kind of effect. So you get this kind of brighter gold effect, which hopefully looks more akin to the elves in the film. So we're going to highlight up with that, and that'll be the difference. You get that kind of brighter yellow going on. That's the hope, anyway. But what's utterly depressing me is the absolute knowledge that that's going to be about another half an hour per model just for the armour. Then I've got to do the cloaks and the shafts and all that. So these guys, you're looking at this probably Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. These guys really need to be finished in time for my hobby vlog next week, so I can move on to the next thing. But will they be? I honestly don't know. And speaking of the next thing, I've done a bit more. I managed to get this guy assembled. Thranduil, whoop whoop. King of the Woodland Realm. That's an awesome model. He's a much better model holding him in the hand than he was on the website, I think. I'm much more impressed with him having assembled him. It's a very cool, kind of dynamic looking model, and I like him quite a lot. Good. It was a good quality sculpt. Took a bit of clean up as always, and there's a bunch of new Finecast releases for the Battle of Five Armies that have some awkward joins. I've seen this on the new Galadriel, the new Saruman, Thranduil and Tariel. where this guy needed, you can probably see it even through the undercoat, just in that gap. Can you see the green stuff running down the middle there? It'll be fine when it's painted, but there was quite an unsightly gap there where I joined that on, and then I had to bring it up there, and you can still see it there where the spray hasn't quite caught it. There's a green stuff line that you need to fill up there and into his hair, just to kind of make it look good. And it'll be fine when it's painted, but you do need to do a bit of work on that. So he's done and he's ready to go. I'm actually probably, because of a few new developments and exciting projects, I will be jumping Dwalin back up the queue this week. So you might even see some work on Dwalin in my next hobby vlog, because he needs to be done in the next couple of weeks probably. So that could be quite exciting. And finally, the other thing I did today, this week, sorry, was I sprayed these guys. So you've seen these guys assembled before. I spent a lot of time on them, and they've now been primed white, ready for painting. So those are the other bits. Remember, this is my army that I'm taking to Shrewsbury with the painted rangers, these guys, the Palace Guard and Thranduil. So I think it's going to go finish my Palace Guard, paint Dwalin, and then paint 6 of these guys. And then hopefully we'll get the rest done for East Grimstead. But already it's not that far into the project, and I'm already thinking that I'm not likely to get it done. But I will persevere, and we will see what happens over the next few weeks. Cool, so that is my hobby vlog for another week, or another 2 weeks actually, because I didn't get one last week. Hopefully I'll be back on Monday with another one with some update, and maybe some completed Palace Guard. Until then, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.